My name is Jesse Chukwu, and this is my litter survey. My survey locations were the Tamug Courtyard in between Atlantic and Pacific, and also Galveston Beach area. And the scale was 1,000 meters. Camera 12,043 meters, and with the 2 meter. And there's the north arrow. You can see the courtyard over here and Galveston Beach right here. So for Galveston Beach, I surveyed a 30 by 30 area, which is 900 meters squared. This location was not really filled. Well, actually, it had a lot of trash. It had a good amount of trash, like way more than the Tammet Courtyard. And the scale used in this picture was 100 meters, 907 meters for the camera, and -1 meters here. And there's my north arrow, and there's my legend. For the Tama Courtyard, the litter here was way less because not a lot of people stay here. It's just a place to walk through. So the scale that was I used was 80 meters with camera 655 meters and with the 2 meters over here, and here's my north arrow. And for this location, it's like it's a 20. I surveyed the 20 by 20 box, just small in the area so I can keep my eyes on all the trash that's here, and that is equal to 400 meters squared. So in location one, as you can see, for both days, the beach had way more trash. It had more carbon, less metal than the courtyard, more silicon, and both areas had no silicone. And then in location two, the Tama Courtyard really only had metal from cans and carbon from like plastic bags that maybe flew across into the area. The beach had more of like pizza boxes, cardboard, bottles, cans as well, chips bags, you can name it. Okay, and here's the all litter from both areas. You can see that Galveston Beach had more beverages than Tama Courtyard, but the Tama Courtyard actually had more food because a lot of snacks because it's a college campus. A lot of snacks gets flown through and see Galveston Beach is actually an area where trash is picked up more, and it's usually beverages that are drank there. And not really didn't see any like cigarettes or any smoking items at the Tama Courtyard because that area is a school area. Plastic bags, like I said, Tama Courtyard flying everywhere, and a torn shirt maybe right here. And for densities, even though like you would think it would be more in the courtyard, nah, the Galveston Beach had a higher density in the same categories that it was higher for all litter. So for beverages, Galveston Beach has higher density. Food, Tama Courtyard has higher. Plastic bag, Tama Courtyard has higher. Clothing, Tama Courtyard higher. The amount of litter and densities were very proportional. Even though Courtyard has a lower area, the density and amount of litter were both less than Galveston Beach. I chose two litters for each category. First, I chose a bag of chips and a plastic bag for carbon. Chose a Coke can and a nail for metal. I chose a beer bottle and a wristband for silicone. And a bag of chips is made out of this thing called biaxially orientated propylene. And the formula for this is C3H6. is also made by low density propropylene, and the formula for this is C3H6 as well. It's just less density. And then Sterling, which is C6H9O2ZN. For the plastic bag, it was just straight propropylene, which is C2H4N. And then with the metal, for the Coke can, it was recycled aluminum, which is the same thing as just aluminum. And then new aluminum was the same thing as just aluminum, just a new version. And then for the nail, it was made out of steel, and the formula is Fe iron. Self-explanatory. Silicone beer bottle was made from silica sand, SiO2, soda ash, Na2CO3, and limestone, CaCO3. Then onto the wristband, it was made from silicone, which is RSIOX. The turnover time rate for C3H6 and in Galveston Beach is about 98.4. This compound is also not easily degradable. A short-term effect would be killing marine animals, and a long-term effect would be completely degrading the habitat, leaving it inhabitable. And that would be the same thing for the C6H9O2ZN and also for the C2H4, which because these all three of them are made from propylene. The turnover time rate for Fe in Galveston Beach is 55.8. This element is also not easily degradable. A short-term effect would be injuries caused to any living thing walking in the area, and a long-term effect would be that the location now has an increased concentration of Fe, and this is harmful to the habitats, very harmful. The turnover time rate for SiO2 in Galveston Beach is 69.4. This compound is not easily degradable, and it is because it is a type of sand. While the short-term effect isn't really a problem, the real problem is the long-term because silicon sand does not break down, which means it will indefinitely cause harm to an ecosystem. The turnover time rate for Na2CO3 in Galveston Beach is 44.5. This compound is easily degradable. While it can cause short-term pollution, long-term it will be degraded and the ecosystem will naturally flush out the Na2CO3. The turnover time rate for CaCO3 in Galveston Beach is 26.7. This compound is easily degradable and it has no real short-term effect because it does not have any negative impact on the environment. And in long term, it will just fade away if more isn't produced in that ecosystem. The turnover time rate for RSIOX in Galveston Beach is 99.5. This compound is not degradable and can have a short-term effect on the ecosystem like pollution or water poisoning. Long term, if enough present, it can make an ecosystem inhabitable for it isn't degradable and will sit there forever. And then for my sources, we you looked for websites on how plastic bags were made, the structure of nails, glass bottles and jars are made of, manufacturing silicone, rubber bands, and it's an article, potato chips packing, and Coca-Cola bottle cans. What are those made out of? This is Jesse Chukwu, and this was my letter survey project.